There are moments in life that show you exactly who someone is and what happened inside that. Diner on a Tuesday afternoon showed everyone. In that room, something they would never forget. A 78-year-old woman named Margaret was sitting alone at a corner booth. She had just ordered her usual black coffee and a slice of apple pie. She came here every Tuesday. Same seat, same order. Same quiet smile at the waitress who always remembered her name. Margaret had buried her husband 3 years ago. She lived alone now. Her son Daniel called her every single day without fail. But today, she just wanted a quiet afternoon to herself. She had no idea this Tuesday was going to be different. The diner was packed. People everywhere. Families, couples, workers on lunch breaks. It was loud and warm and full of life. And then a man walked in. Big. Loud. The kind of guy who takes up more space than he needs. His name was Brett, and Brett had a habit of treating people like they were beneath him. He pushed past 2 people waiting at the door. Didn't say sorry. Didn't even look at them. He spotted Margaret's booth, the biggest one by the window, and he walked straight to it. He told her to move. Margaret looked up at him, calm, polite. She said she was almost done and would be happy to leave in a few minutes. Brett didn't want to wait a few minutes. He grabbed her coffee cup and slid it to the edge of the table like she was already gone. Margaret reached out to catch it. He slapped her hand away. And then, and this is the part that still makes people's blood boil, he hit her. Not a shove, not a grab. He slapped a 78-year-old widow across the face, right there in front of everyone. The diner went silent. Nobody moved. People looked away. Some pulled out their phones. One guy near the door just stared at his shoes. A waitress dropped a pen and didn't pick it up. That horrible frozen moment when everyone hopes someone else will do something first. Brett pulled out a chair and started to sit down like nothing had happened. And that is when the door to the bathroom opened. Daniel had been in that diner the whole time. He had arrived a few minutes earlier to surprise his mom. He was going to sit down, order pie, and make her laugh the way he always did. He had heard raised voices from the back and figured it was nothing. He walked out and saw his mother holding her face. Now, here is something you need to understand about Daniel. He had spent 11 years as a Navy SEAL. He had done 3 combat deployments. He had trained in some of the most extreme conditions a human being can survive. He had been tested, broken down, and rebuilt over and over again. The military does not just teach you how to fight. It teaches you how to stay completely calm when everything around you is falling apart. Daniel did not yell. He did not run. He walked over to that table with the kind of stillness that is somehow more terrifying than rage. He stood behind Brett and said very quietly 2 words. "Stand up." Brett turned around slowly, ready to say something. And then he saw Daniel's face. Not angry, not wild, just completely, utterly still. The eyes of a man who has seen real danger and is not afraid of anything in this room. Brett tried to laugh it off, said something about minding his own business. Daniel pulled out his military ID, placed it flat on the table, and said, "She is my business. She has always been my business. Now stand up and apologize to my mother." The whole diner was watching now. Nobody eating, nobody talking. Just watching. Brett stood up. He was taller than Daniel, heavier. He puffed his chest out the way men do when they are trying to look dangerous but have never actually been in real danger a day in their lives. Daniel didn't move an inch. And something happened in that moment. Something that people who were there later struggled to describe properly. It was not a fight. It was not even close to a fight. It was the moment a bully realized, maybe for the first time in his adult life, that he was standing in front of someone who was not even slightly intimidated by him. Someone who had jumped out of planes in the dark. Someone who had held his teammates as they bled. Someone who had spent years becoming the kind of man who does not blink. Brett sat back down, and he apologized. Not a fake one, a real one. Head down, voice low, genuinely uncomfortable. Daniel helped his mother up, checked her face, and asked the waitress to bring her a fresh cup of coffee. Then he sat down across from Margaret, reached over, held her hand, and said, "I'm not going anywhere, Mom." Half the diner started crying. Now I want to stop here for a second, because this story is more than just a feel-good moment. This story says something real about the world we live in. Bullying does not stop when we leave school. It follows people into their adult lives. It walks into diners. It targets elderly people eating alone. It counts on bystanders to stay quiet, because they almost always do. Studies show that in most public conflict situations, the majority of bystanders do nothing. Not because they don't care, but because they are waiting for someone else to act first. It is called the bystander effect. And Brett knew it, even if he didn't know the name for it. He counted on it. What made Daniel different was not just his training. It was what his mother had given him long before the military ever got him. Margaret raised Daniel alone after his father left when Daniel was 9. She worked 2 jobs. She never complained. She packed his lunch every single day until he left for boot camp. She wrote him letters by hand when he was deployed. Real letters. On paper, because she said she wanted him to hold something she had touched. When he graduated from SEAL training, one of the hardest military programs in the world, where more than 75% of candidates drop out, she was the first person he called. She picked up on the first ring. Daniel told a reporter after this story spread online that his mom never asked him to be tough. She just showed him what real strength looked like. A woman raising a child alone, working until her feet ached, still smiling, still kind, still believing that people are mostly good. He said he learned everything he needed to know about courage from watching her. And so when he walked out of that bathroom and saw her holding her face, 11 years of training and a lifetime of love all pointed at one thing. There was never any question about what he was going to do. He was going to stand up, because she always had. That story spread across the country within days. People shared it millions of times, not because it is rare for a son to love his mother, but because we are all starving for moments where someone actually does something, where the good guy shows up, where the bully doesn't get to just walk away. Brett was later charged with assault. Multiple witnesses gave statements. The security footage showed everything clearly. Margaret went back to that diner the following Tuesday. Same seat, same order, same quiet smile. But this time, Daniel was sitting across from her, and when the waitress brought the apple pie, she brought 2 slices. She said they were on the house. If this story hit you right in the chest, the next video on your screen is going to do the exact same thing. Go watch it.